New month, more college basketball winners are on the way. I've got 3 best bets on the way. Great action on this Monday. Let's get into it. This is the Free 3.
Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go in such a weak AFC South? Unless we have the NBA.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13.
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
A happy Monday to each and every one of you. It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video. I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make that money. I do apologize for not having a stream this morning. I will hop on a little bit later this afternoon. I need to go through a few quick games real quickly for you all on this college basketball slate. Noble, why aren't you talking about the NBA? Well, don't you see what's going on in the NBA? Stars are getting traded left and right. I woke up in the middle of the night, just like you did, seeing the Dallas Mavericks trading Luka Doncic. We've seen De'Aaron Fox is going to the Spurs. So many things are happening right now. I don't really want to get too involved in the NBA if I'm being just 100% serious, and it just hasn't been doing that well for us. So I will be back with the NBA a little bit later on this week, but I'm kind of waiting for the trade deadline news to kind of die down. I normally like to ramp up NBA betting post All-Star break, so we'll get into that a little bit. If you do want to hear my thoughts about kind of the Luka Doncic trade, I'll talk about it a little bit later. I'll make a video for you guys. I actually think it's beneficial for both teams, believe it or not. And I think people are really overreacting on the Dallas side. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, listen, they have a squad. They have a team. If AD can stay healthy, I know it's a big if, but listen, we're not going to get into that. And for today's video, I'm just talking about real quickly my favorite college basketball plays of the day. Tomorrow we'll do, like, when we get on stream, I'll do a recap of how we did over the weekend. I did do a stream, a hardwood haymaker for us that missed on Saturday. I'm so sorry about that. You know, it happens. It wasn't our best of Saturdays in all honesty, but we do have a new week here. So that's why my goal is to bounce back this week. If you're new to the channel, what we do here is we come every single weekday for the most part, and we talk about our favorite basketball plays, baseball plays, football plays. But right now, we're in the heart of college basketball season, and that's my favorite best bet my favorite sport to bet. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what we're taking on this Monday card. It isn't the best of slates in all honesty, but let's look at what we have here on the Action Network. A few mid-major schools that are playing, like Colgate, like Alabama State, Alabama A&M. And the first best bet of the day is going to be the 7 p.m. game between Virginia and Pittsburgh. And this is more of a system play here. Most times, right, when you see Virginia play, historically, we get what? A low total. We have a total here of 131.5 in this game. And that's typically what you see from Virginia teams. But this is not the same Virginia team that we've seen in years prior. Why? Because Tony Bennett retired to start the regular season. So now they have an interim coach. And when you think about it, we're still getting Tony Bennett type numbers. If you scroll down here real fast, you'll see for Virginia recently totals at 125, 134, 127, 124, 131. But you see these O's right here? That means overs. Yes, 5 straight overs for Virginia games, despite the fact that they're still getting a lot of low totals. And when we look at the fact that the over-under history for both of these teams, Virginia 13-9 this year to the over. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh 13-7 to the over. This game is on the road for Virginia, where they're 6-1 to the over, and we've got Pittsburgh at home, who's 8-3 to the over. So you guys know what we're taking in this game. Pittsburgh, Virginia, over 131.5. That is our first best bet of the day. I just think it is way too low of a line here for the two teams that have been trending towards the over. Even if we look at Pittsburgh's recent game logs as well, if we look at it, last game against Wake Forest, a low total of 138.5, that game went over. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. The only game going under is a total of 152.5 against North Carolina, but that game would have went over the 131.5 number that we're getting here in this game. So I'm not trying to overthink it. Pittsburgh is a team that can play fast. We don't really need to pull up KenPom to go into all the numbers. This is just more of a system trend play. Pittsburgh, Virginia over 131.5 is the first pick of the day. Our second best bet is going to come on a little bit later on, and this is going to be a late night 9 p.m. game. This is going to be a great game between Kansas and Iowa State. You can see I'm rocking the Kansas hat today. I do want the Jayhawks to win that game. I think the Jayhawks are still a good program. They've just been, I don't know, they got to figure it out. But the other game I'm going to look at is UAB against North Texas. And I'm going to take the UAB Blazers here at home -2.5. Now, I know if you look at the records of both of these teams, North Texas is 16-5 and UAB is 14-8. So you may be asking yourself, Noble, why are you going to take the spread on UAB? Well, let's dive into the numbers a little bit more, and let's go to KenPom for this one. You can see UAB is ranked 108 on KenPom with a 14-8 record. They've strung a series of wins together, not only winning 2 in a row, but winning 7 of their last 8 games, and they're now 7-2 in conference. You can't be too mad at that. They're ranked 41st in offensive efficiency, 21st in turnover percentage. They attack the offensive glass hard, 8th in offensive rebounding percentage. You love to see it. I think that this is a great revenge spot, because if you look at this right here, back on December the 31st, they played North Texas on the road. They lost that game 78-75, and that was their first loss in conference play. While this is a completely different UAB team, they've had over a month and a half really since that game. You love to see that. And now at home in a place where they've been strong, I like them to grab the win. I see KenPom has this as a 2-point loss for them, but North Texas, even though they're strong defensively, they concern me on the offensive side of the ball, right? They don't really score too well inside, and they turn over the ball at a high rate. So this might be a little bit more of a low scoring game, but like I mentioned before, UAB is one of those teams inside of the American Athletic that is not going to get the same type of praise like a Memphis does, right? And this conference is wide open. If we look at the standings right now, Memphis is at the top of it at 8-1. North Texas is 7-2, but UAB is right there at 7-2. I like the revenge angle. I like it at home. It's going to be a great game, which is why I want to stay off the total. If you want to wait for it live and try to see if you can get UAB live on the money line, I'm not opposed to that as well. The money line is -150, but I'm just going to do the -2.5 here for the sake of the show. Let's go UAB at home. We're locking that in as our second best bet. Our third and final best bet of the day is going to be a bankroll builder. I wasn't going to do one today, but again, I was looking at the NBA slate and I was looking at the props, and I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to touch this. And if I was going to touch something, it was going to be an under. So if you want the under play that I'm going to add, make sure you're following us at Action Network, at Noble Living for any added plays that we're going to add throughout the day. But our bankroll builder of the day is going to be a few mid-majors, probably a few teams that you're not familiar with, but we're going to have some fun with it. So our moneyline parlay is going to be our famous McNeese. You guys know they blew the bank. They weren't the only team that lost in the hardwood haymaker, but they did blow some of our moneyline parlays on Saturday. But McNeese is a team, like I said, they're going to lose one game in conference. It's going to happen at some point. It happened on Saturday, and I'm going to keep riding them until the wheels fall off. So I'm taking them on the first half spread. Granted, they lost, and now they're back at home after being on the road. I think it's a great spot. Incarnate Word, they're a good school, but they're nowhere near McNeese. I'm expecting them to jump out to a quick start early. Our second game is going to be Texas A&M Corpus Christi. You can see they're 14-9 on the year. Meanwhile, East Texas A&M is 3-19. They're not very good. Despite them being on the road, they're still 8-point favorites. We're just taking them on the money line here. Those are two teams. And then our third and final team is going to be one of the teams that should win their conference, and that is Southern University. They're taking on the Jackson State Tigers, and this is one of the games I actually want to go on KenPom and look at a little bit deeper, because Jackson State is 6-15 on the year. Meanwhile, Southern is 13-8. But if you look at Jackson State a little bit deeper, it's kind of a funny story, because they're 6-2 in conference. They're near the top of their conference there in the Southwestern. But look at this in the SWAC. They started off the regular season 0-13. Look at this non-conference schedule. Houston, Xavier, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Iowa State, Arkansas State, Lipscomb, St. Louis. And then they start playing in conference, and they string together 4 straight victories in 6 of their last 8 games, which is pretty impressive. But now they got to go and play Southern on the road, one of the best teams in this entire conference. You can see they have one of the nation's longest win streaks, that's 6th longest active win streak at 8 games in a row. They've won every game in conference so far at 8-0. I think they're the team to beat in the SWAC. And at home today, if they were on the road, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But I just like them today. Southern at home, they're the best team in the SWAC, so we're gonna add them on the money line here. I'm not saying they cover the 7.5 point spread, but that gets you guys to plus 102. All right, 3 best bets here to get locked in on this Monday card. All right, some college basketball action for you guys. I do lean Iowa State if you guys are looking for an extra play, but real quickly, what we're rocking with is a 3-team parlay. I don't know why I did it like this. I'll go back and fix this. But McNeese, Southern, and A&M Corpus Christi. Then we've got UAB -2.5, and then the over in Virginia and Pitt. All right, my friends, that's what we're locking in on a Monday card. Follow us at Noble Living on Action and also on Twitter, social, or X, whatever you guys go by now. And we'll have a great day, man. Let's have a good Monday. If you guys have any picks that you like, NBA plays, let me know. And then it is Super Bowl week, so be on the lookout for Super Bowl videos, Super Bowl picks. I'll start adding some player props throughout the week as we start talking a little bit of some Super Bowl action, so this way we don't have to wait until the big game on Sunday. All right, appreciate y'all tapping in every single day, and we'll be back tomorrow. This is the Free 3. It is your boy Noble Living, and as always, dictate your fate, get to that cheddar, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Later.